Okay. 3 cameras? This is the spy cam. The trusty spy cam. UV. This is a camera.
Very small.
Yeah, spy cam.
Okay. Right. Wagwan. Bumblebee.
Assalamualaikum.
That's at the sea.
Right.
We came here on vacation from Ireland. We're originally from Malaysia, and now we're kind of stuck here. What's it been like watching the world change around the last 2 weeks?
It's not surprising. You don't feel shocked after COVID, after what happened during COVID. A few airspaces being closed down in the Middle East doesn't sound like a very big deal. The implications are there. The massive destruction it has caused is there. I'm not suffering yet from it because I did come down here on holidays. But if it does persist, then there will be consequences, for me at least. But there's still time. And hopefully it's not much longer. Yeah. It's not unexpected. It's not surprising. Yeah, the world is very chaotic. Yeah.
So when did you first realize the truth might turn into something longer than expected?
Ooh. You see, when I was flying back, it was perfectly fine. When I landed, it was still fine. But when the first strikes happen, and then you start hearing the news, things are getting worse, you expect that things will settle down very quickly. But after about a week of where airspace is being closed, that's when I realized that this is very unlikely to be settled quickly. And then 2 weeks had gone, and now it's not going to settle for months.
It's weird how things happening somewhere else can affect in the weirdest
ways. Yeah, the world is too small nowadays. We rely on each other far too much.
So what's the practical reality of being stuck anywhere? Like, is the flight a pause or communication with your hospital, your boss in Ireland?
Communication with my bosses have not been compromised. It's all WhatsApp and emails. Those are pretty straightforward. And fortunately, they do have sufficient workforce there where my absence is not really giving that big of a consequence, which is lucky for me, I guess, because then that would mean that my delay going back is not as pressured anymore. I can take my time, but there is a financial loss that will come from this. I may need to buy a second flight ticket. The tickets are not cheap now, and they are at least triple the price. At least. It's still very unsafe to fly. There's always uncertainty when you're up in the air. But work is work. There's my source of income. I can go away. And if there's an option for me to go something that is amicable and something that is practical, yeah, I will go. So the question.
So
Did I answer the question?
yeah. Don't worry about it. Just say what you think is the right answer. There's no right or wrong answer. How is your team or any family in Ireland coping, or are you feeling any guilt or relief?
I do have a partner in Ireland, my long-term girlfriend, but both of us work in the same hospital and both of us are equally busy. Where my absence there, although I do miss her and I'm sure that she would be missing me as well, we would be so engrossed in work and our day-to-days that it would be enough of a distraction for at least my partner to live along until I come back. On the other hand, from the workforce point of view, see, the job is a job and you are replaceable and not special. Doesn't matter what you can or can't do. You'll always be able to find someone who can do what you can do. You just got to hope that what jobs you have done in your past was valuable enough that they would hold the place for you.
So let's now try to switch the over.
Okay.
In the medical angle of the conflict, right? War produced massive trauma, burns, blast injuries, crash injuries. As a surgeon, do you ever think about what the medical system inside Iran must be going through right now?
I never thought about Iran. I was thinking about Gaza. War torn, fine. I was thinking about Gaza back then. I didn't really put much thought into the medical system in Iran. I don't know why specifically Iran though. Could you just dive in? Maybe a different war torn country. I didn't put any thought into Iran's medical thing. But let's just say, in a general, from a war torn country's medical system point of view, if a country is a first world country with all the money in the world, Switzerland, Luxembourg, they struggle in the hospitals still. Even they struggle. Doesn't matter how much resources you have. You cut down the resources, the struggles grow exponentially, not gradually.
No.
The struggles grow exponentially. You see, as a practitioner, right? In all reality, I only have 3 tools: myself, my knowledge, my physical exam and skills; images, so CTs, MRIs, ultrasound scans; and bloods, the results that I can get from the bloods. I use these 2 tools to do whatever that I need to do. This is all that I have in a hospital setting. I need to know how to use my imaging correctly. I need to know how to use my blood tests correctly and know what to order. And basing that, putting both of these together and my own expertise, my own knowledge, my own experience to formulate something. But these are the only 2 tools that you have in hospital: the blood results and the images. So imagine going now down to Iran. Very briefly, the easiest image to get would be an X-ray, a simple X-ray. Go to a clinic down the road here, you can get an X-ray. Then, now all of the others are equally as challenging to obtain, but each of them have their own values. So an X-ray is extremely general. It has its own value. But using an X-ray, you can then lead yourself into what else you want to scan. Like how do you want to go for the next scan? Whether you want to do an ultrasound, a CT, an MRI, or a nuclear medical scan, with isotopes. So these are the tools that you have. Now, for example, if Iran, we have the biggest hospital in Iran, they probably have all the machines they need. Now, a smaller hospital in Iran, they probably just have the X-ray machine. And using that X-ray machine, they need to depict with that one X-ray machine what else they can do using a very basic images. Whereas me in my hospital, I would get an X-ray, and looking at the X-ray, I would decide what next scan to get the patient. Whereas a more impoverished hospital, they would get the X-ray and have to act on just the X-ray. Now, in Iran, for example, if that X-ray machine as well is gone because of the war, then what do you do?
Whoa. This is good. This is good shit. I've never heard of this before. This is good shit. All right.
Now, you want to hear a bit about blood?
Keep going.
Same concept.
No one is talking about this.
You have blood, right? You collect bloods in a few separate bottles. One is blue, one is pink, one is red, one is gray, one is white. And different bottles have different functions, with different chemicals inside the bottle to react with your blood, to set it in the right way for that test to happen. Then those bottles need to be put into a machine for the machine to split the blood up, and then that goes into the next machine, and the next machine, and the next machine. So if you want to test for something that is so rare, so tough, something that is not easily testable, you need bigger machines. So fight the war in the labs and you're gone. It just comes back down to you can only work with basics, always.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that's where the infrastructure of medicine is so important. And my job, although I am a junior surgeon, a lot of my job in Ireland is politics and talking to other people. Because if I want the scan to be done, I want it to be done yesterday. So how quickly do I need the scan to be done now? And how quickly can I push my case? How quickly can I justify the scan? How quickly do I get the consultant radiologist to do the scan so that he reports it? How do I get the radiographers to do the scan, quickly bring my patient and get the scan? How do I get the hospital porters to quickly go and drag my patient and come down? How do I get my junior staff to get a line into the patient to inject the dye? All these things I need to manage as well. And then once you put all these things into place, I send a message to my boss, patient getting CT brain at 10 a.m. After you've organized all these things, talking to all these people.
Holy shit. Okay, wait a edit this part, show my experience in all the medical videos I've been watching about everything, and do a comparison about how this information has not been spoken by any of the medical influencers.
Right.
Nice. All right. So now let's tie this together with where you are from, with Ireland and the geopolitics. Ireland is a neutral country traditionally. How do Irish people and the Irish medical community tend to react to conflict like this? Because, like you just said, you only thought about Gaza, and before this, there was plenty of other things. And you have been in the European region longer than you were here. More additionally, you are longer in the European region in your later years where you are more mature, you have more world experience. So, like your thinking and your perceptions are different.
Mm-hmm.
So, for context, how old were you when you left Indonesia?
19.
And
29 now.
so, 19 years old. And how long have you been in overseas, and what are the overseas?
So I was in Poland for 6 years for uni. I got my degree there, and then I've been working in Ireland. This will be my 4th year working in Ireland. So 10 years.
So 10 years you've been in
Europe.
Europe. All right. So getting back to the question, Ireland is a neutral country. Poland, you were there for 6 years. That's the World War II started, right? So there's also history there with conflict and World War, right? So like, how do Irish people, Polish people, and that region as a whole?
So see, this is what's very unique about Europe. Like every country in Europe is so unique with what their history is, what their rulers used to be, whether they used to be a monarchy or a colony, a colony, or whether they used to be a monarchy or whatever it is. Every single country has their own history. And then when World War I, World War II happens, that completely changed as well. So now, my only experiences that would have any value would be the Polish and the Irish community. That's it. From the Polish side, now the Polish people, they were brutally tortured by the Nazis. And when they got independence from the Nazis, my impression of what their mentality is and the kind of way Polish people are is they are very straight, they're very direct, they are very prideful, and all of this seems to stem from what the Nazis did to them and how they wanted to overcome them and fight against them and come back out. So if there was conflict in another country, if it does not affect Poland,
zero. Right.
That's it. Yeah. On the other hand, now coming to the other side, the Irish history is also very brutal. What the British did to the Irish was extremely brutal.
Oh my God, yeah.
Potato famine. That was extremely brutal. What was done to them. But that impact was not equivalent to what Poland would have suffered with the Nazis. I'm not saying that suffering is equal in any sense. Yes, they're all equal. Everybody suffered, yes. But that suffering is very different from this suffering. A car crash is different from a football broken board. Like they're all suffering, but it's very different. So this suffering is also very different. And the mentality of the Irish people is more openness, more friendliness, more love, more warmth, more family. So that's how it is. So in Poland, if it does not affect Poland, they don't do shit. In Ireland, they do shit. They do care about human rights. They do care about being vocal about it.
This is not never been heard there.
Yeah. And I think the further east you go in Europe, so like the west of Europe is the common word or the common stereotype is West Europe, so UK, Ireland, Germany, France, Paris, rich Europe. East Europe is poor Europe, so Poland, Lithuania, Hungary. That is the general thing. That's the general understanding. Because East Europe used to be part of the Soviet Union when they broke off. As West Europe, they were part of the Allies, so they were already rich. Like Germans, the Nazi gold, it's all still there. What the hell? Like all the gold they looted, all the gold that the British looted, all the gold that the Spanish looted. What did it's all still there, man. Like did they keep it back? No, that's why they're rich. That's why they're rich until today. Yeah.
Again, very short snippets of all the other videos I've seen, all the long form contents regarding this thing, and reflect on it. Shit. This is excellent. This is more better.
No, but for real though, think about it. Think about countries that have caused and dominated wars and colonies. Did anyone give anything back? No. So where is that money? It went into their own infrastructure. That's why those countries are so far ahead. That is probably the genius of the Nazis in a way as well. Like how did they manage to like they were so evil all around the world, they are all being hung, right? But they still managed to negotiate a way where the gold does not need to be returned. Instead, they made the European Union, and now Germany has to front the entire thing of the European Union. Yeah, that kind of way. But the infrastructure is coming from there.
Oh, shit. Okay, good job, good job. All right. So, Malaysia has its own complex political relationship in the Middle East, and the US has been here during the crisis. Given you any perspective on that, or has Malaysia's perspective kind of not, but maybe overlooked by you since you are 10 years in Europe?
This is on YouTube, right? Like if it is going to be posted, it's on internet, right?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Malaysians are way too influenced by Islamic sentiments, way too influenced. And because of that, I feel that my opinions in all these conflicts would not be influenced by my Malaysian nationality, because my impression is that the Malaysian mindset is very influenced by Islamic sentiments. So if there is an Islamic country who is going through any kind of chaos, that is where the support is always going to be in. So yeah, my opinion on the war is just my own. There's nothing to do with my Malaysian influence, because if I do put that in place, it will be very one-sided. Look around, go to Kelantan, go to Pahang, people are there around fucking 1 centimeter thick sampans holding Palestine flags. Like, brother, like, man, would you catch a fish and feed your family? Like, what are you doing, man? Buying flags. Bro.
Well, in that case, let's see whether we can do a bridging. As someone who bridges both worlds,
Okay.
East, West, Muslim majority Malaysia, Catholic influenced Ireland, do you feel like you see this conflict differently than most?
I genuinely believe I do, because now this is coming into more influence from my work, right? The bottom line of every human being, you want to eat properly and shit properly, you want to drink properly and pee properly, you want to sleep properly and wake up properly. That's all I need to make sure you can do as a human being. If you come to me as a 99-year-old, if you can do these 3 things, go home. So what I need to do anything only. Fine, go home. You can eat properly, you're hungry, your appetite, shitting every day, good. Drinking okay, can pee or any pain? No, good. Sleeping okay, go trouble sleeping, take sleeping tablets, go home. Enough. I'm not going to operate you, I'm not going to scan you, I'm not going to do anything. Until 99, enjoy your life. So now coming back to that, has the bridge of someone who knows both worlds. If this basic things are just what is understood by politicians, by higher ups, people just want to think about it. Why do you want to get rich? Why do people want money? You want to eat better stuff? You want to drink better stuff? You want to sleep in a better place? Other than that, why do you need money? Right? We're wrong. So if all politicians just understood, like, all right, why are we fighting? Like, these guys have food to eat, they have something to drink, they got nice places to chill. I can.
Cool. Good job. Shit. I feel like that closing 20 minutes. Okay.
Sorry, is not allowed to speak.
All right.
No, I'm the
Man on the chair.
yes, I'm the man in the chair, the bald man in the chair. Because this podcast, if let's say I speak, then from the viewer's perspective, it's like, huh, what? And plus, and plus, whatever I say can't be heard by the viewer.
The one can be edited out.
Okay.
It can be edited out.
The person I'm talking to is man behind the chair there. Says HK.
All right, let's come to
Deluxe.
let's change the let's go to your specialist, busy hospital. So how many weeks have you now been away from the patients and the clinic?
3 weeks.
Has this forced break actually shown you anything about your relationship with work?
Yes, that is not evident. Yeah, that work is not evident. When you start a job like mine, anybody who goes and starts this job feeling that you're fine, not nervous, I got this in the bag, they might be the best student in my school. They go in and they say they're feeling fine, no nerves, they're lying. This is so nerve-wracking, especially in the first few parts. But then what I realized was it's like any other job in the world. You will pick it up. Yeah, you will pick it up. And that kind of gave me a bit of a thing, like, I feel like even now, if, for example, if I go to, let's say, an engineering company, right? Give me 1 year, I'll be able to pick up the job, not the knowledge, but the job I will be able to pick up. Like what you need me to do, what papers you need me to send, what documents you need me to bring, I will be able to do it. I can replicate that. So work is not everything anymore. When I had the nerves, when I was nervous, I felt like it was everything. I felt like it was everything. But I'm at a stage of my career at the moment that I still have such a long way to go, but nothing new will ever scare me anymore. Like I will know how to use what I have around me to do something, to start first. And then if I don't know something, how to make sure that I find out. Like I would have all the tools that I need for that now. So I don't need all the knowledge, I just have all the tools. Yeah. And I rather update myself with tools rather than knowledge.
Right. So let's keep on with this. Then, do doctors, especially surgeons, specialists, ever really take proper holidays, or is this unique? Because, like what you just mentioned, 10 years there, and I don't think we've been relatively off work for long periods of time.
You see, there are two kinds of doctors in a hospital. You have to make that call when you're in medical school before you get into the workforce. At least within the first year of your workforce, you need to make the call. Do you want to be a surgeon or do you want to be a physician? You have to make that call.
Okay, let's differentiate those two.
All right. So a surgeon is an operator. You operate. You physically act on the human body, right? And you try to alter the human body to treat the patient. A physician acts on the patient and tries to treat them chemically. Medication, drugs.
Ooh. You never heard this distinction before, man. Good job. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Now, physicians do a lot of practical things as well. They do work with their hands. But a majority of a physician's practical is symptom control or diagnostic.
Yo, Okay, go on.
All right. But a surgeon's physical intervention on a patient is curative. That's the intent, anyways. Unless and otherwise it's incurable and you want to do symptom control or diagnosis. You can do it, but then the surgeon has that extra thing of curing prior to surgery. Whereas a physician, very limited. They cannot cure a patient procedurally. So their world is extremely mental. They have to think, they need to be able to link, Zimbabwe and Antarctica, and where the links are, and what is that one line that touches Zimbabwe and Antarctica, and how to link them all together, and what's the best drug to give to counter both these two opposite worlds. That's what a physician needs to figure out. As a surgeon, we mechanically plan the operation. We look at the scans, we find out where the organ is, we find out what the structures are around the organs, we find out what's the safest approach, what we need to do to try and find out what complications may happen. We plan the surgery and we operate. We do the case. So, what was the question? So now I've already given the distinction, but what was the question again? What was it?
No. So, like, do you ever take breaks based on those?
Okay. So now, as a physician, because of your job, your role is very strict. Not really strict, but it's almost always 9 to 5. You can only work when offices are open as a physician. But as a surgeon, it's not necessary that you need to work 9 to 5. The mentality of a surgeon that I adopted was from my boss. His name is Mr. Saeed. And what I observed from him was he treats the hospital like a clubhouse. Comes in the morning, does a few bits for 1.5 hours, goes back home, takes a nap for 2 hours, comes back in again later, goes back home, comes in again at 7 o'clock, chills until 10 o'clock, goes back home again. That's how he, as a surgeon. So you treat the hospital like a clubhouse. You're in, you're out, you do your stuff, you go out. When somebody needs you, they give you a call, you try and tell them over the phone. If your juniors can't handle it, then you walk in for it. That's the kind of way a surgeon is. Whereas a physician, 9 to 5, just do your office, 9 to 5, you're done. If you're not on call, you go home. That's it. That is a surgeon, you gotta be very flexible. Like, the hospital's my bitch. Like, okay, I'll go whenever I want. So yeah. So I do work in the morning, right, 9 o'clock as a junior as well. Like, I'm not a boss. Far beyond that, at least 8 to 10 years away from that. And I go to work in the morning sometimes. And if I know that my day is looking quiet, I go for a hack and I come back. Yeah. Yeah, I come back and my boss looks at me in clinic because we're about to start cleaning. I was about 20 minutes late. Boss looks at me, he goes, did you go for a shave? In between the clinic.
Excellent. Go on.
Yeah, so when you ask, right, do surgeons really take a break? When you think about it, as a surgeon, do you really need a break? That's the question. So from Monday to Sunday, I don't mind being in work 7 days a week. But I'm not in work 9 to 5 like a robot every day. On a Saturday and a Sunday, sometimes I might go into work. I tell my bosses that, boss, the only thing I want this weekend is to wake up without an alarm. So if I wake up at 4 p.m., I will come in at 4 p.m. These kinds of things. Like, you know what I mean? As a surgeon, you're...
Right. So, is there backlog of case filing?
Oh, fucking, yeah. But you see, the cases that are backlogging, they're not my cases. No, we serve in the name of the consultant. They are the specialists, the consultants. So my consultants at this time, I have 2 consultants. One of them is a urologist, and another one is an upper GI surgeon. And I cover for both of them, and the only reg for both of them, which is very annoying. It is extremely annoying because think about it. One is upper GI tract, another one is urologist. I work in 2 opposite poles of this body. Like, it's extremely annoying. It is tough and it is annoying, but I have 2 lovely bosses. Extremely lovely bosses, extremely supportive bosses as well. Bosses that just make me do stuff and push me out of my comfort zone, make me realize, do it once, you will be able to do it again, these kinds of things. And that's what you need as a surgeon. You need a surgery is an apprenticeship. You need a mentor. If you don't have that person who's going to be willing to let you do it, how would you ever be able to do it? But of course, you got to show your mettle. You got to be able to earn that time. Yeah.
Cool. Clear. Nice. Now let's go to some medical experiences in terms of the school.
No, but then to answer the question, backlog of surgeries, the backlog of surgeries, you see, we act in the name of the consultant. So the backlog of surgeries is not my backlog, it's my consultant's backlog. It's in the name of my consultant. So at the end of the day, there have been cases, like all the cases are booked under your consultant. So Mr. Walid, who's the urologist here, approves the cases. He says, yes, we will be doing case 1 to 5. Yes. But case 2 and 3 is simple enough that Yomesh can lead the entire case. Yomesh and a junior can go in and do it. But he will come for case 1, 4, and 5. Or he might say, okay, Yomesh can lead. I won't scrub in, but I'll stay in the theater. So if anything I need, I'll come in. Or I can just stand there and give him advice from afar. Like this is how it works. Even inside the surgery as well, there's a thing called a key limiting step. This is surgery by definition. There's a thing called a key limiting step. All right. Now, if I were to do a surgery, I have to do the key limiting step. If I do not perform the key limiting step, that means I did not do the surgery. Okay? With me so far? Now, in an appendix, in the appendicitis, when we have to remove the appendix, right? The appendix is just a wiggly little organ like that. You need to get rid of the whole appendix. The key limiting step in removing the wiggly organ is you need to put the ties at the base and make sure it's tight and secure. All right? Then you can cut the appendix out. If not, it will start to leak. That's the key limiting step. If you do not secure the base, if you do not write in your operation notes that base secure with 2O vicryl tie or loop PDS or whatever it is, whatever the name of the tie is, if you did not write that in your notes, if that is not printed and signed on, then you did not perform the surgery. You ripped into a patient, but what did you do to him? The key limiting step is not there. Now, how you decide to approach the key limiting step, that's on you as a surgeon. That is on you as a surgeon. There is a set guidelines that you need to go from A, B, C, D, E. Let's say F is the key limiting step, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. But I can go A, K, F. As long as I get to the key limiting step by some hook or crook, and I'm able to justify in court why I chose to do this method, and you did the key limiting step, surgery is done. Now, the more key limiting steps there are in a surgery, the more complex the surgery is. So there are surgeries with 10 limiting steps. I can't lead a surgery with 1 key limiting step yet. I still can't lead a surgery with 1 key limiting step.
Are there surgeries with no key limiting steps?
God, there are surgeries with no key limiting steps. You're right about those. The surgeries that do not require key limiting steps almost always are emergency surgeries, not elective surgeries. So a patient that comes into the hospital with back to work, a bullet inside the stomach, fuck the key limiting step, man. You don't know what is damaged inside. Rip them open and figure it out. There's no key limiting step. Go in there, damage control. See what you can do. So now, when you do an approach in an emergency surgery, your mental is completely different. You can't go inside an emergency surgery with the mentality of an elective surgery. Because in an elective surgery process, protocols, this, that, blah, 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 key limiting stuff. No. Emergency surgery, sometimes you just go in blind. There was once where we had a patient. He was downstairs. He was so unwell, extremely unwell, to a point where I looked at him. I don't know what was in the CT scan, like what is the report, what this patient is in with, what his complaint was, nothing like that. All I know is this patient will be going up to theatre in the next hour. She has to go up to theatre in the next hour. That much I know. I touched the belly and I knew it doesn't matter what is on the scan. Whatever is on the scan will need to be operated on. We will need to open her abdomen. It doesn't matter what is in the scan, whether it's blood, shit, whatever the leak is, you know that you need to operate on it. These kinds of things do happen as well, where you just have to make the call and move the patient to theatre and go in, emergency laparoscopy, straight in. These things do happen. And when you're there, you've got to go in blind war zone. Just go in, figure it out, have a good assistant, make sure your assistant is able to help you, make sure your assistant is not stressed out. And you've got to take it easy. Know what you're doing as well. Gosh. Is the data see?
OS crash.
With the data we say.
Yeah.
Data's here, right?
Yeah. These are the questions.
Recording still going.
Hmm.
Do you have the question number 4?
Okay, so now since the consultant is the one that has the backlog and you're probably just like a warrior for them to use. So, and you just mentioned
I
that.
think what let's say if they are the general, I would be the commander. Like that. Because under like the consultant, you have 1 or 2 registrars, you'll have 2 or 3 SHOs, and you'll have 2 or 3 interns. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's under them, yeah. The whole thing will be on their name. Everything you're doing on their name. If anything happens, if there's something wrong, they are the ones that get called.
Okay, I think we close it off. Give some questions to you. Oh, I know. Tell me one thing that people are not talking about and people are not questioning about that you think they should.
In medicine, in health,
Anything.
Alright, this is something more light lah. Okay, something a bit lighter. I think people do not give enough value to the power of dancing and singing. Yeah. If your this is just what I've observed in people there. If you have a son or a daughter, and if they were good dancers, either ballet or hip hop dancer, break dance, whatever it is, they have absolute control of every muscle in their body because they're dope as dancers. That means when they go to reach a piece of food, when they go to adjust their shirt, when they go to wear something, it all looks graceful, it all looks clean. Every movement they make looks lit. Every action they do has like flow in it because they are good dancers. They control every muscle in their body. They have rhythm in their head all the time. So anything they do, the way they sit, the way they talk to you, the way they come and like, put their hands on you, everything will just have some swag into it. If they're good dancers. Now, let's say ballet, for example. That girl would be like a princess. Her posture, the way she walks, the way she, handles her hand, the way she would reach out. It's just all going to be so graceful, so pretty. The value of dance is not just about the dance, like what it then entails in you and then how people then perceive you on the outside. You don't need to be a dancer, but the effects of it will always be there. You will look, move, and speak differently if you're a dancer. If you're a singer, everything you say sounds good, man. You know how to talk, you know when to up and down, you know how to emphasize and where to bring your tone down, where to bring your tone loud. You know how to do all these things if you're a good singer. And your vocal cords are so nice that even when you talk, you sound sweet. People want to listen to you. They don't mind listening to you. Value of dancing and singing is very undervalued. And people are just pushing them just to go and learn dancing and singing for the stage performances and shows and awards and these kind of things. But this is where real dancers' value comes from. They are day-to-day singer and a dancer. Day-to-day changes. The way they move, the way they talk, everything changes. And they're just a swaggy motherfucker with a good sounding voice. They'll be classy as hell, swaggy as hell. A girl who's so graceful, so pretty, so charming. The way she talks, you just want to lie on the shoulder. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think the value of dancing and singing is not thought about enough.
Yeah. That's what the actual part. I can ask for no better first verse.
Very insightful. Very nice.
Dude, that's not insightful. I am looking right. Fucker actually grew up. And I'm like, you know what? He's no more Thambi. You know? He actually has become an individual. You know what's the true reflection for me? Remember that whole thing. Frico is someone I will never lay hands on because it's my man, right? I only go like equal and punch down, right? Like if it's a Tambi or Tangachi or then like equal with me, right? Like this is giving me a fucking slap in the face that what, age is just a number. You should not actually think that you're wrong in the first place. Everyone should be judged by their nature and like give respect to everyone equally. The main like the first of all, like Vanilla is Tanachi, whatever she has done, I've never criticized her even once before. But that's because maybe more because the girl, even though like my statement is like she's a Tangachi, so like scholar, but no, like she's smart enough to make her own decision. Then when it comes to you, like when last time when we were kids and all, like all the drinking and all satire we used to do. So me and Frico all used to scold you, remember in Bangsa and all the stories and all, right? But good job. But here's the irony. That day after you and what you all drink, you all still did thank us, man. You remember? What you Kannadiya? This fellow joy. And the one of making not even fighting because we went so long. Yo, that one. Good job.
That's a wrap.
I have a follow-up question.
Are we recording?
No.
Yeah, recording go.
What?
Recording go.
Oh, okay. So since you've already spent a decade in Ireland, right, in Europe, generally speaking, what, from a Malaysian standpoint and an Irish person standpoint, right? What do Malaysians take for granted?
Oh,
and what do Irish people take for granted?
That question.
Just one thing. Let's start off with the Malaysians. What do you think most Malaysians?
A very easy answer would be the weather on both sides. Malaysians take the heat for granted, the Irish take the chill for granted. The Irish guys is, where are you from? Malaysia? Oh, that's beautiful. I'm running away from the sun in 10 seconds. Very beautiful, my ass, man. Now look at this place. It's so gloomy, cool, chill, cool air, one layer jacket, you can swag it out. Malaysians take this weather for granted, Irish take their weather for granted.
Okay.
A very brief answer. Something deeper and more profound is, I don't think it's applicable. Because what I realized when I went overseas, right, is that everything is the same.
Yeah?
They're all the same. They're all the same. The history is the same in every hostel. It's the same. Like, there is no difference. Mentality is all the same. Like, everything is the same. Family, emotions, human beings, we're all the same, no matter where we are.
Yeah.
So, what we take for granted here, people there will also be taken for granted. We take for granted our food, they will do the same. But the very common distinction is the weather. Like, these guys really do take the sun for granted, and these guys really do take the chill weather for granted. Need to appreciate each other's weather a bit more. Ireland, man, like Ireland was. You know that there are places in Ireland, right? It's like only if you know kind of places. I had a mate there, he's a Pakistani guy who moved to Ireland when he was 4 years old. So he practically was raised in Ireland. It's a mate of mine, his name is Ahmad. And he was the first person in Ireland that opened his home to me, like his family home to me. And the same way what we do now, like you go to the house and we just chill until late night, we're having dinner in the house and all that stuff. Like he was my mate like that. And now, because he was born and raised in Ireland, he knows the places, right? And he was no quiet, nerdy boy that stayed at home and all of that. He likes to go out, he likes to hang out. So he brings me to all these places, like places where literally the sign says, "Do not enter, not allowed, can't stay, there's no lights." And no, it's fine.
Okay.
Go there, and like he's right, we are fine. But the sites that we see, they're not real. Like they're not humanly sites. They are
Amazing, huh?
Oh man, like.
Like screensaver type shit, like.
Exactly that. Let's see if I can find you a picture. I do have a lot of nice shots of my car insides. No, I do that a lot. Like I'll bring the car around and
Photo shoot lah.
not necessarily like a photo shoot, but like
Nice.
look at how high my car is
Oh,
to
good.
the ground.
Damn.
This is like 20 minutes outside where I work.
My God. It's very cloudy, huh?
Yeah, you need to send me some photos.
See, my hand is my 27th birthday.
27th. But here.
And there was one. You want photos of me? Yeah.
No, no. The important thing you said, differences, things. Anything you feel like would be okay in your own mind without me asking. If you think there's anything you can send me that can be while you're talking me putting on the screen.
Will look nice. Okay, okay.
Get in. Listen.
Come here.
Like for example, when he said,
Man.
There's a picture of us. We hiked up to this rock up here. We parked the car, we hiked up all the way up there, and then I did take a picture from up there.
So not scared the sand might.
கைங்க ஆமாட்டு இருக்கான் நம்ம ஊராச்சே நம்ம சொன்னா கிளைம் பண்ணலாம் கிளைம் பண்ணிய வேண்டியதான் முடிஞ்சு but கைங்க you know he's the kind of guy right he doesn't say no you can't climb he will start climbing so you're just being left behind
Nala,
oh and he's very fit and athletic as well
Nala,
very fast and speed control
Nala, come here.
look at that it's not me though my friend but look at that
Damn. The water is like turquoise.
look at this cave
This looks like where Robin Hood was
Shot
filmed.
right, yes. Look like some live. I didn't think. Sorry.
You, the Thor, where Loki is.
Yes.
When the dad dies and
Look at that.
And it's all accessible by roads. You.
They're not. This was where my car was parked. They were my car was just parked on the beach, on the grass,
Ah.
on the rocks. Kind of okay, okay. He drives an Audi A6, so he bring his car means I'll bring mine. lah. You willing to bring your car on that road means I will bring mine just behind you. Sama kali sama lah. But Kainga once brought it into the beach. Got stuck.
But
We walked about 2 kilometers to one of the farmer's house.
you to contract.
Asked the farmer to bring his tractor. He brought the tractor and came.
Oh, all that. Yeah.
Then apparently this tractor guy, daughter was in the same school as same class as Ahmad's sister.
Oh.
He charged us money, nothing. It was like, it's fine.
How did you even explain why the thing got stuck there? Oh. What the?